How you doing, magic people and gnomes and people and whatever of the internets? Welcome to Love Beer Radio. I'm Matt from Massive Beer Reviews. And yeah, Joe. What's up, Joe?
Not too much. I'm from NEPA Beer Reviews, if I have to say it again.
Well, it's NEPA Beer Reviews.
NEPA Beer Reviews, yeah.
And then it's we from NEPABeerReviews.squarespace.com.
Yes.
How was your week, man? What'd you do? Anything exciting?
Pretty good. Just more school. It's like this past week was like basically the calm before the storm.
Okay.
Because some of our classes end before our break. So it's like, yeah, we're gonna have a project due on Friday, and then a final the following Friday, another final, and then like a bullshit project like debate thing. So it's just like eventually, like it feels like there's nothing to do, but eventually it's just gonna hit, you know?
I got you. So it's pretty much just working your butt off pretty much at this point.
Pretty much.
Nice. Trying to think. Anything new with me? Yeah, same old stuff. I went on a local radio show today, which is pretty cool. We did Beer Geeks Radio on local radio station WILK. It was a good time. Hung out with some good people, talked some good beer, drank some good beers. Got to talk to the owner or the founder of Founders, which is kind of weird to say founder of Founders. And he liked to talk a lot to the point where he talked way more than anybody anticipated. So that was kind of cool.
It's always better when they talk more instead of
less.
Just like awkwardly too little, you know?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. I made the actual same exact joke, saying, you know, you talk to somebody, if you ever interview anybody, you've interviewed people at breweries and so have I, it's like you rarely get the perfect person. You either get a guy you say, so what's new? And then he talks for 15 minutes, or you say, so tell me about how your brewery got started. And the guy goes, we like beer.
Me and my friends.
And then that was it. You know what I mean? Like nothing else.
Like, me and my friends.
It's like, okay. You're like,
here we are.
Yeah. Do I need to get the pliers to pull the words out of your mouth, or are you just going to give them to me? So yeah, that was a good experience. I dug it. I'll probably go back again. I'll definitely go back again, actually. And yeah. So yeah, what are we going to do today? Give people the dealio.
Today is all about brew pubs. So in our split topic format that we've been working through, our first topic is kind of what we look for in brew pubs, whether it be atmosphere or food wise. Then we'll kind of run through some brew pubs that we liked and ones that we didn't really like so much. Then for our beer review, we're going to be taking a look at Bell's Oberon. In keeping to the tradition of us having slightly different beers, I have a can and you have a bottle.
That I do.
Instead of you have a fresh bottle and I have a 3 or 4 year old bottle.
Yeah. That's the difference now.
Speaking of, well, let me finish off our layout before I segue. Then our second topic after the review will be serving other forms of alcohol at a brew pub. So what I'm talking about is wines and spirits. I'm kind of not so much cider, and sodas are fine. You know, if you want a family-friendly atmosphere, you're going to need something for the kids. But mostly wine and spirits. And should they or should they not be on the menu?
Fair enough. So yeah, man, let's kick this off. Let's talk about it. Brew pubs. What do you want to? I mean, this is like such a broad subject. Excuse me. That it's like, I won't say it's hard to nail down, but it's also, you can go so many directions. So first off, you want to start off with one second. Why don't you bring it up?
Well, while we're
talking about, touch on what we look in for a brew pub. Sorry.
Yeah. Before we figure this out, I want to talk about an aged beer that I just opened up last night.
Okay. Beautiful.
And that was barrel-aged Wake Up Dead from Left Hand.
Barrel aged Wake Up Dead.
Yeah, it's their Wake Up Dead Imperial Stout, but barrel aged version of it. So I had 2 of these bottles and just had them sit in the cellar. So in a
How old?
3 years old. So they were from 2012. I opened up one last night because I brought it up here to share with some friends. So I opened up the bottle last night and it was fucking amazing. Like, I had the regular Wake Up Dead when it was fresher, and I'm like, this is okay. It just kind of a meh Imperial Stout. But 3 years on it was fucking fantastic. Like, tons of cherry. It had that kind of like meaty, almost like savory smell going on, and it just turned into something real nice. And I'm pretty sure I had another bottle, but I think it broke when my dad was putting in the new drain, like when he was rerouting the drain in our basement. Is a pipe fell, like one of the PVC pipes fell right on top of my cellar, like my beer stash, and a bottle broke. I'm like, all right, whatever, a bottle broke, and I'm pretty sure it was this one. And now I'm like, fucking pissed because the beer was. I wasn't pissed at the time. I'm like, all right, whatever. I have another bottle, and then I opened it. I'm like, shit, this was really fucking good.
I've had that beer before, but only fresh.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's one of those.
If
weird
you
things.
if you could find some of the barrel aged, grab it and sit on it for a couple years.
Nice. What was it? I was like sitting there thinking, like when you were talking about, Wake Up Dead. I was thinking about when I went to Canada. I had Bring Out Your Dead from Bellwoods. And I was like, wait, I'm like kind of ripping each other off. I'm like, it's far enough of a name. It's probably not. They didn't even know each other came out with the beers, but Imperial Stouts barrel aged. It's close, but at the same time, I'd like to try them both side by side because that Bring Out Your Dead from Bellwoods was off the hook delicious.
Yeah, I've heard real good things about Bellwoods. I haven't had a whole lot of their beers.
Yeah, I mean, like I harped on you trying to get that for the longest time. Mm-hmm. The only reason I got to have it was when I went up to Canada to tell Chad from Albino Rhino Beer Reviews when I went to his festival. That's the only reason I had a chance to have it, and it was absolutely delicious. So basically, the rule of thumb is we've learned today that anything that has the word dead in it is delicious. Mm-hmm. There you go.
Yes.
Okay. Well, let's dive in. Let's dive into subjects and stuff.
Yes.
You want to go first, or you want me to go first?
You go first.
Okay, so we're gonna what I look for in a brew
what
pub.
you look for in a brew pub.
Okay,
like if you're going, what do you have in your mind when you're like, oh, I want a new brew pub, like you're gonna go to an area and you're like, what? Either breweries or bars or whatever, but now narrow it down to just brew pubs. Like,
this is how I'm going to do it. I'm going to break it down from think about it like a point system. Okay. I'm going to break it down to what's most important to me, and then tack on each thing I say. Just keep adding more points. I didn't break it down enough to be like, okay, this is worth this much points. This is worth this much points. First thing first, first thing that's most important, to a craft beer bar, they should have good beer. Now, good beer is a subjective term, whatever, but again, you want selection, and you pretty much selection. I want what I want. Like there's beer bars that are like, we serve good beer, and then they have 100 beers, and I like 3 of them. Mm-hmm. There's nothing wrong with that.
Let's keep it with a brew, because there's brew pubs that are themselves beer bars. Owls of Hamden being.
You're talking about.
I'm talking about I brought up brew pub just as like a
You want to talk about bars that specifically serve their own beer? Is that what you're talking about? While we lost you? So basically, Joe is not there right now, so I'm not sure what he was hitting at. Go ahead. Go ahead.
So I brought up beer bars just as kind of like an example of like you're going to a different area, you're traveling, and you know a brew pub is one of the places that you would like to stop. And
before you go ahead with that, that's what I'm trying to nail down right now. Are you talking about a brew pub, like a place that makes their own beer and serves their own beer? Because I've planned my whole week around talking about bars that have bottles. That's what I've talked about. That's what I've thought my whole week. That's what I planned my whole speech about.
Okay.
So I'll talk about what you want to talk about. Brew pubs. They produce really good beer. That's all I care about them. Okay. And that's all I have to say. They produce good beer. It doesn't have to be home run shit. You know what I mean? It doesn't be the best beer in the world. As long as they produce really solid, good beers in a knowledgeable environment, you know what I mean? That's all I could care about. Food is awesome if they have it. I don't need it. I would love it, but it's not a need for me. But as long as they produce good, clean, well done beers, like a perfect example would be like when a couple weeks before I went to Canada, I went to Binghamton and I went to, I believe it was, I forget the name of the bar now. It was something Wellington Street Brewery or Wall Street Brewery or something in Binghamton. Great beers. Nothing blew me away. Their quad was really nice. Other than that, nothing blew me away, but it was so clean, crisp. Everything was done well. The staff, you could almost tell like the staff behind the bar almost had a hand in making the beer at some point, or you know what I mean? Like they actually were knew what was going on, and just really they were knowledgeable, they were friendly, they produced a good product at a reasonable price in a nice environment. There wasn't a band in the corner. Not that there's anything wrong with that on a Friday night late. And it was just a good experience overall. I mean, for a brew pub, a bar that just, a brewery that makes beer, that produces beer and then has a bar, that's great. If they have additional bottles, that's fantastic. But I think that's kind of going askew from what your original concept is.
I mean, that's also still a good topic, and now it saves us from talking about that at a later date. Let's now tack in beer bars, or a bar with more of a craft beer focus.
Okay, and that's what I assumed you were kind of talking about when we kind of touched on the subject briefly.
Yeah, I was going more on the on like the brewing. Like this is a place that's like a breaker.
Yeah, and like honestly, like and maybe we need more communication, but like this is like if you would have broached that subject, the next words out of my mouth, and I knew exactly what you're talking about, I'd be like, well, let's not just talk about that. Let's expand it. Yeah, just beer bars in general. So my view, and like we'll do this. I'll kick it back off in my kind of important system. First things first, good beer. They have to have good beers. Like. And again, like I touched on briefly, like as long as they have a nice selection of beers, it doesn't have to be the world class, like 1,000 beers or whatever, which is, I want that too. Great. The next most important thing, and this is kind of like a toss up. I don't know which one's more important. Knowledge and price. Like I want my bartender to know what the fuck is going on. You know what I mean? But I also want price to be right. Like if a price is super expensive, if the bartender knows everything in the world, it's going to turn me off. But if the price is super, super cheap and the bartender doesn't know anything, it's going to turn me off also. So there has to be a balance there. Good pricing with a knowledgeable staff. I'll tell a quick story. And this is like one of my favorite stories to tell is that there's a local bar, and we're going to talk on ones we like and don't like, and this one's going to be in one that's kind of like in the middle ground. There's a local brew pub by us, not brew pub, or bottle bar by us called used to be a brew pub called Black Rock. It was actually the head brewer there was Terry Hallbacher from Pizza Boy, but now it's a bottle shop called The Arena. They have about 50 beers on draft, and they have about 200-300 bottles. But at the same time, and this is more of the stuff I don't want involved there, it's a weird place. It's like they have bands and they have music and then they have all kinds of crazy shit going on. But I went there one night with friends of mine, well, specifically my buddy Wade and my ex-wife at the time and his girl, and we were like drinking bottles for about 2 hours, and we were about maybe $200 to $300 deep into a bar tab. Okay. And the whole night while ordering bottles, the waitress, and this is a beer with like, you know, they have a ton of bottles and a ton of drafts. That's what they do. You know, I'd be like, okay, let me get this beer. And she'd be like, I don't know what that is. You have to give it a number. You know what I mean? Like, and then next one, I don't know what that is. You have to give me a number. And after a while, you know, I'm like, you know, a couple $100 deep into a bar tab. And I'm like, let me get a celebrator. I ain't your celebrator. She's like, I don't know what that is. Give me a number. And I'm like, 69. And then she comes back with either I read the number off wrong or she heard the number wrong. She comes back with the wrong beer. And I'm like, I didn't order that. She's like, yes, you did. I was like, well, I didn't. That's not the beer I want. She's like, okay. She's like, you don't have to drink it. And I was like, let me get this one. She's the one I want. And she's like, okay. And she puts the beer down. I'm like, I don't want this. She's like, you don't want it. You can have it either way. You know what I mean? You're going to keep it. You know what I mean? Yeah. Oh, actually, you know what? And I'm flip-flopping the story. Rewind about 20 minutes earlier. We're at the bar. We're already a couple $100 deep. And then like they have drafts and then they have premium drafts. Yeah. And then we're like, you know, we're already a couple $100 deep. And we're like, there's this stout on draft. Be like, can I get a taste of that to see if I want it? She's like, we don't give tastes on premium drafts. And I'm like, you know, I understand if like dudes walking off the street and are like, hey, let me get a taste of like 13 beers. But I'm already $200 deep on a bar tab. Like, why are you asking me? You know what I mean? Like, you should give that to me. I'm like, that's not that I'm like somebody or at the, you know, mean anything, but obviously I'm not here just to steal beer off of you. You know what I mean? I want to know if I want the beer, give me the beer. And she's like, well, you have to pay for it. And then we ordered the beer instead of getting a taste and we didn't like it. And then later on was that mishap where she brought the wrong beer and she's basically like, okay, you're going to pay for it even though you don't want it. And then we left and we had and up until that point, we were going probably twice a week for months, dropping a couple $100 a week between me and my buddy. And we would tip like crazy at a point where waitresses would fall over each other to get in our section. Cause we, you know, I believe in, you know, good tipping. And we had, I think it was a $263 just bar tab and we left 86 cents. And it was and on purpose. Like I wanted to leave her change. I was just like, nobody leave any tip. Give me all the change everybody has in their pocket. And I left 86 cents. She like threw the change at us where we're leaving and stuff. And I wasn't trying to be a dick. Like I'm an over tipper. But at that point, like I'm going to a bar that's all about beer and you don't know what the beers are. And then you're kind of treating me shitty. So that's kind of like my sore spot. So beer is more important. Yeah. Next up would be staffing and price. After that, honestly, it really tails off. Like I want like a nice bar that has a nice atmosphere and good people and not loud music and nice ambiance, but really it's all secondary. Like if I get those three components, that's all I really care about. Like like I don't want rock and roll blaring in my ear, but at the same time, I'll make it work if those three things are there. Yeah, it's kind of an oxymoron though, because if the staff knows what the fuck they're talking about and the price is all right and the beer is good, they're not going to have a shitty band in the corner. You know what I mean? It's kind of one of those things where they're not going to have that because they're more focused on the beer itself. What do you think?
Well, I've been to Arena a couple of times, and I honestly haven't gone there. Obviously for quite some time because I'm not living there. I'm not living back home anymore. But yeah, definitely a beer selection. If I'm going to a bar that supposedly has, you know, it's calling itself a beer bar or craft beer, like I want a few things that are interesting. You know, I don't want 14 of the same style on tap. You know, if you have 14 taps and they're all fucking IPAs, it's like, all right, I like IPAs. I don't want to try 12 of them. You know, like toss a stout in there, like toss something, like give a good variety. But I am 100, like I agree with you 100% about staff knowledge. Know what your beers are. If you don't have that many taps, you better know what's on tap. You know, like if you have to write it down, you know, but don't like go, I don't know, give me a number. You know, for example, brewpub just opened up by us called North Slope Brewing Company in Dallas. They have 10 taps. It's not that many. In the grand scheme of bars and brew pubs and all that kind of shit, they don't have that many taps. You order by number. So you could go, oh, give me the such and such pale ale. And they're like, what? What number is it? I'm like, fucking really?
Yeah,
you
like
have 10. You have 10 beers.
a perfect example of that, and I'll probably mention them a couple times throughout this, is kind of, I would assume would be kind of a catalyst for this whole topic, was close to us, Sabatini's beer bar open. That's kind of probably where a lot of this came from, topic wise. And they number all their beers. They have 20 and change taps. All of them are numbered. I've been there 3 times already, and I've never said a number, and not one. And I've had 8 different wait staff, even though they are numbered for ease.
Mm-hmm.
Not one would the wait staff go, what number is that? They go, okay, that one. You know what I mean? And they walk and they get the beer and they come back.
But at the same time, a scenario where a number system is a little bit more useful is Owls of Hamden. They have like 102 taps. Like, okay, yeah, unless it's super popular, I would hazard a guess you don't know what number, you know, what.
See, I disagree. I totally disagree, because here's the thing. If you went to a bar that had 20 taps and 200 bottles, would you not care if people knew what the bottles were?
The bottles? Yeah. If I don't typically buy, here's the thing, like you'll buy bottles more than I would. Like I would go, if you have a good enough draft selection, I'm going to go with the draft.
Oh, of course. But what I'm saying is, I want my wait staff to know their product. You don't walk into a restaurant and be like, oh, can I have the fettuccine Alfredo with shrimp? And they go, oh, wait, what number is that? You know what I mean? Like, you're ordering off the menu. You want them. I don't care if you have.
I did. I have, but at the same time, I have ordered by name at Owls of Hamden, and they're like, all right, that's like, instead of saying to me, which number is that, they will then reference something that they have, you know, which I think is fine, instead of looking at me and go, what number, you know.
And here's the other part of that, and this is actually like not contradictory, but it's and this is kind of like a mini philosophy in my life, is people not lying and people giving a shit. Like if a girl, and I shouldn't say girl or guy, working in a bar, if I order a draft, okay, let's say at a beer bar, and they don't know what they're talking about, if they go, what number is that? I'm irritated. If I go, hey, let me get this beer, and a person doesn't know, and they go, man, you know what? I just started, but this shit is super cool. What is that beer, and what's it like? Then I'd be ecstatic. You know what I mean? Like if they didn't know, but they were genuinely curious about what I was ordering, and be like, okay, which beer is that? And be like, what's it like? Okay, now I know. Like that actually would be cool. Like I wouldn't be turned off from them not knowing. I would actually be into them not knowing that. I'd be like, okay, this person is into this. They want to know some things. So at that point, I'd be like, okay, this is kind of cool. This person doesn't know, but they're eager to learn. So it's kind of like a weird thing where it's not just not knowing, it's giving a shit. Mm-hmm. I think that goes along with a lot of things.
Yeah.
So what else?
So let's go into some beer bars and stuff that we like, and maybe ones that we don't particularly like.
You kick it off, baby.
Okay. One of my favorite spots, and this is a traveling kind of thing. One of my favorite spots to go when I'm in Philly is, I've said it time and time again, is Local 44. It's on Spruce Street, I think, in Philly.
Which would be the ghetto, by the way.
No, actually.
Really? I thought
Spruce Street was the ghetto. This is like in the ritzier section of Philly. It's like right by the University of Pennsylvania. It's like it's like fucking hipster central. But yeah, Local 44. I've gone a lot of times to their bottle shop, mostly because I'll hit there on my way out of the city. But Amanda and I stopped in for a drink when we were down there the one day, and it had like pretty much everything that you put out, like good beer, knowledgeable staff, and the prices were pretty good. You know,
Yeah.
I actually, like the day that Ryan was on, I told the story of where the Amanda ordered the one goes from Victory, and
Oh
the guy
I remember that. I remember that story.
Like he brought over whatever was left from the keg because nothing was fought. Like they had no backup for that tower at the time, so he's just like, I'm sorry, you know, order something else, and then brought over whatever was left, which I thought was super cool.
That is awesome.
Yeah. Places that you know, that was one that I really like. I also really like Owls of Hamden. Some of their their sours are a little bit out of my personal budget range now for my own spending. I'm not gonna say that someone else should or should not buy them, because I think that's kind of
fair enough.
I think that's kind of shitty. Be like, oh, I wouldn't personally spend that. I don't think you should either. You know, but I like all of their. I like their selection. The first couple of times I've gone there, I didn't get anything that they made, and then stopped doing that, and now solely buy beers that they make when I stop in, and it's like everything that they do is real good. Obviously, Breaker, I can't talk about them enough, especially being local guys. One that I didn't really like. I'm uneasy to put North Slope on here, but I feel like I have to because they need to improve a lot of their stuff. They need to improve their beer, and their staff needs to know what the fuck is on tap.
Yeah, no, I mean, you don't want to poo-poo on like a new place, but at the same time, hey, you know, you gotta open a place like that. You gotta.
I'm glad that I went in there for the first time, not in a beer reviewer mode, because if I started writing, it would have been terrible.
Yeah, that sucks.
You know, they had a beer that was verging on undrinkable.
That's not good.
No, it's not. But yeah, I'm not gonna go too more on them because they are new, and like I was on the fence about even including them. I feel like there's like certain things where if I'm looking at the, you know, what are good places for beer in X city, I feel like you can kind of tell like what things are just kind of like almost gimmicky and like chain kind of places. So I feel like I'll catch that name, you know, whatever it may be, and be like, no, I'm not gonna go there. You know, so like the list of dislike is way less because I feel like I would typically avoid a place that I have in my mind, like a preconceived notion that I'm not gonna like it.
Yeah.
So what about you? What are some places that you like and some places that you don't?
Okay, here we go. This is gonna be a while, so fucking fasten your fucking seatbelts.
Relax, people.
Yeah,
Sit back and relax.
Get a beer. First off, favorite beer bars or bottle shops or whatever the fuck, not bottle shops, but beer bars. First and foremost, I got to mention a bar called Elmer Suds. It exists today. It will exist on both my favorite and my least favorite beer lists for two reasons. One, I learned everything I know about beer in that place. It is in Wilkes-Barre, Pennsylvania, Wilkes-Barre Township, Pennsylvania. Their beer list is epic. If anybody wants to see their beer list, email me at massivebeers@gmail.com. I will text it to you or email it to you, and then you will piss your pants because you're talking about Thomas Hardy, J.W. Lee's, West Veltrin's, Eights, and fucking.
Do they still
12s.
have all that stuff?
No, they don't have it now, but this is what it was like back in the day. So I just have to mention it for homage purposes.
Yeah,
the best beer bar in the history of mankind. Okay, that was. I get that out of the way. Now, present day favorite beer bars. Porter's Pub in Easton, Pennsylvania is right now close to my favorite. It probably has been trumped by a place that opened 2 weeks ago. I'll probably finish with. Porter's Pub in Easton, Pennsylvania. 100 beers and bottles, about 20 taps. Insane atmosphere, good people, great beers. They always have unique enough stuff to keep you interested. And it's just so old and so brick and so run down and kind of cool the same way in a shitty enough neighborhood where you want to be there, but you know you're not going to get stabbed. Absolutely fantastic place. Great beer. Let's see. Other places I love. Let's see. I like Backyard Ale House in Scranton. I really like that place.
Yeah, that was a pretty good place. I forgot about them.
Backyard is a weird place because it caters to a couple different crowds. It caters to a college crowd, but it also caters to a beer crowd. But it's big enough. They have an indoor section out front. They have an outdoor section out back. To the point where, you know, even though there is multiple facets of sometimes there's music and sometimes there's a loud jukebox, you never feel like you're stuck in a bar with a ton of noise going on. Really great owners, Billy and everybody that works there. Super great guys, really nice beers, really well priced. And that patio out back is absolutely fantastic. One bar I want to put on here, it's weird because I don't want to put it in my favorite beer bar list, but I have to, is Beer Boys in downtown Wilkes-Barre. It is a college bar that is smoking. It's a smoking bar for college kids. So at first you'd be like, why do you like that place? Because they have 72 beers on draft only. So you're talking about a bar that I've gone into and I've had Sammy Claus on draft. I've had, you know, three Philosophers on draft. I've had Hop Slam on draft. I've had Nugget Nectar on draft. I've had, you know what I mean? Like all these great beers on draft at really amazing prices. They have like a happy hour that applies to all beers. That's not, you know, whatever. So even though it's like a college bar and the atmosphere is kind of poo-poo, it's like 72 beers in draft in a great happy hour. I mean, what do you want to do? And great.
I walked by that place just about every day when I was at King's. Never went in there.
And I'm trying to think of any other places, craft beer wise, that I'm like a really big fan of. There's another place in Easton, and the name is slipping my brain. Other than that, I mean, like as far as brewpub goes, I really like Breaker. Breaker's really cool. I've only been there once just because they're closed when I work and I work when they're open. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But the time I was there, really nice place, awesome people, great food. The beers are really nice. So I dug that. Yeah, I mean, the only other place, and I get to cap it off, I mean, you know, it's coming to Sabatini's. I mean,
yeah, we better wrap this up in a little while because you got to get back into his basement. You know, you gotta.
Yeah, it's Sabatini's Pizza. Sabatini's Pizza. If anybody wants to see an in-depth thing, you can go to my YouTube page, Massive Beer Reviews, and look up like a walkthrough. But I mean, it is basically a small little pizzeria in Exeter, Pennsylvania that had fantastic beers in a pizzeria. Pretty much, it's like as big as my living room I'm sitting in right now. The beer, the front counter area, they have a little side area, and they have really amazing beers. And the owner Lindo decided to open up a beer bar, and it is gigantic, it is gorgeous, and it is absolutely fantastic. I mean, you're talking about I'm off the top of my head, I'm going to say 2,000 different kinds of beer. You know, super knowledgeable staff. Everything about it is top notch, super welcoming. The pricing is way cheaper than any other place in the area. You know what I mean? It's almost like you're like, did I die and go to a new place in heaven?
Yeah. I think, you know, since he opened up, in my opinion, like, good luck if you weren't already established.
Yeah, I mean, and there's people that are established that I think might suffer really badly.
I could see
it. You know what I mean? Like,
honestly, I could see it. Like, if you're not, like, it's just from your video, I'm like, this is gonna put fucking people out of business.
Yeah, it is, and it's not malicious.
It's not at all. It's just
it's what it should be. It's what it should be, and it's absolutely fantastic. And I'm going to tell you right now, is that it's the best beer bar I've ever been in. It is 7 days old. No, sorry, it's 6 days old, and it's the best beer bar I've ever been in. And it's like, am I saying that because it's new and everybody has like, oh, the new thing's the coolest? No. No, let's put it this way. And I told this story to Joe off the air, and this is why I like the place. You know, they have fantastic beers at really reasonable, sometimes a little high, but most times and not better than reasonable prices. You know, 24 rotating drafts with 4 dedicated drafts, and then they had a hand pump and a bunch of cast stuff today. All that stuff aside, this is the reason why I like the place. You know, I went there, and this is not just me. Like, I know the owner and I know the people. It's not like I'm just doing stuff I want to do because I know people. You could do this if you are a customer. It's not like special privilege shit.
Yeah, it's not you. Like, you are able to do this because you know them.
Yeah, no, this is like you're a customer off the street. You could do this. It's like I went down. I had a couple beers, and I was talking to people. My buddy ordered a cheese plate. And he ordered a Trappist cheese plate. The cheese is in like an end cap, and you pay this. It's fantastic. You pay for whatever the cheese costs. Like, cheese is marked. You pay. That's what you pay. Then they put it on a plate. They cut it for you. They give you grapes and crackers for free on a cheese plate. And then they put it down. So, okay, we're going to eat some cheese. So I'm like, okay, if I'm going to eat some freaking Trappist cheese and some crackers, I want a Trappist beer. I got up, walked out of my seat, went over to the retail section, looked through all the Trappist beers, picked one up off the shelf, grabbed it, walked back to the bar, put it down. The person put it in, and I'm on my tab, cracked it, poured for me. It's not like I had went over to a shop to where they were like, oh, you can't bring that over there, or oh, did you pay for that? It's like, no, it's like I'm getting the beer I want. I come back, put it down. She's like, do you want it chilled? I was like, no. I'm like, it's a Trappist beer. Room temp is perfect for me. You know what I mean? Like, I'm like, boom, done. And it's such a great experience. And that's exactly how I want it to be. The place has no TVs. It has TVs that have their menus on it, but there's no sports being played. There's no band in the corner.
That is fantastic.
Yeah, there's no bands playing about. Not that there's anything wrong with bands. Like, I'd like a nice soft jazz trio in the background or something of that sort. That's cool. There's no covered rock band in the corner. There's no sports being played. There's no overbearing jukebox. You know, it's just you go there to drink beer and to have conversation, which I think is a lost art.
Yeah, and that's like I said, for our area, that's amazing.
It's not even just our area, dude.
No, like
a lot of other places.
Yeah, no, but you know, I've said it a couple of times, at least to Amanda. Like, the days of, you know, this isn't Philly, this isn't wherever, that wouldn't work here are, I'd say, over. You know, like, just give it a try, and I think if it's done well, people will accept it.
It's definitely trending that way. I think it's somewhere in between there. I think Sabatini's, and more specifically Lindo, has, I don't want to say a caveat or a presence, but he's been in it for so long, and now there's a groundswell enough to where he could pull it off. If somebody else tried to pull it off or they didn't have a background, you know what I mean? I don't think it would go off as well. So I think, even though that attitude is trending in that way, I think it's the perfect storm for him to do it. I think anybody could do it if he never did it. I think somebody else could do it for 4 or 5 years down the road. For him, I think it's actually wheelhouse. Like, he picked the perfect timing. You know what I mean? it just works.
I cannot wait to go.
I know we're going. We're going.
Wait.
We're totally going.
Oh,
And the best part is Brad works there, so we get to like mess with Brad the whole time we're there.
nice.
Yeah, it's like an extra bonus. So yeah, that's I like those places. Places I hate. I forgot to let's go.
The like went on so long. I'm like,
Yeah,
you even have a
like
hate section.
Hate. I don't want to say hate section because I understand what people do.
Yeah.
Dislike section. The new Elmer Suds. Not that I dislike it. I still like going there because there's a I still reminisce just by going in a place. But this is one of the things I didn't mention before in like what I want from a place is they rarely have on their list what I order. Like last time I went there, I ordered 4 beers, I think, and I had to get 5 deep before they gave me a beer. I was like, okay, let me get this one. Oh, we're out of that one. Okay, fine. Let me get this one. Looked around. Oh no, we're out of that. You know what I mean? And I got to the 5th one. They're like, okay. And the 5th one wasn't me still asking for what I wanted to be like, which one do I think they might have? You know what I mean? And that kind of turns me off. You know, the arena is not a bad place. I don't even want to throw it on a list. I just want to mention it just because if you go there on a Sunday afternoon at 4 in the afternoon, it's awesome. You sit on the deck. It's sunny out. You order whatever beers you want. Decently priced, awesome. But if you go on like a Friday or Saturday at 8 o'clock, it sucks because it's just like it's like bro bands and like you know like hookers and stuff hang out there. It's just disgusting. So it's like that thing where it's like just not for me. I'm trying to think of any other place that I'm just not a big fan of. Bottle shops, there's a couple of them I'm not a big fan of, but I won't mention those because we're talking about bars. But yeah, that's probably.
I think I can guess.
I'm joking. I actually won't mention it. I will never mention it. But yeah. I mean, like, those are the probably places that are the most. I'm like, okay. I'm just. I go to them. I still go to them because there's some kind of, especially Elmer Suds. There's some kind of attachment to it for me.
Yeah. I mean, you have a lot of like
history, you know,
history with that place, yeah.
And but the arena, even they'll get good beers now and then. I'll still go, so it's not even more like a dislike place. It's just like I don't like them as much as the other places. Like if I want to list bars I don't like, it'll be like fucking Lipsy's Lounge and fucking, you know what I mean, you know, whatever, freaking Rodano's. Do you know what I mean? It would be like shit places that have like crap beer. So
yeah. I feel like, honestly, when I come home, like Sabatini's is going to be the only place that I would actually like go out to, because I don't go out to the bars too often, you know.
Yeah, you don't need to go anywhere else. That's the whole thing. You know what I mean? And it's not like I don't want to make the analogy to Walmart because Walmart is what's the word? The devil. But yes. Like Walmart, you can get anything you want there, so that's why people go to Walmart. Sabatini's is like Walmart if Walmart was awesome. Like it's like rap Walmart, and it's like everything you want is there, but at the same time, it's a place you want. It's Wegmans. That's what Sabatini's is. Sabatini's is Wegmans, or Whole Foods for you other people that don't have Wegmans who suffer from not having Wegmans.
Yeah. Or on a beer kind of comparison for people who are, you know, more in like the New York and even Ontario area that are into craft beer, like Premier Gourmet.
It's way better than Premier Gourmet.
I can imagine,
because Premier Gourmet to me feels like Bed Bath and Beyond with beer. Like it's a little bit weird.
Yeah,
like it's
cool. Like, I haven't looked at anything else apart from the beer there, but like I could definitely see that comparison. It's like, here's housewares and then like Belgian ales.
Yeah, it's like a really weird place. Like I like it. The pricing is cool. I dig it. I'll go there anytime in the Buffalo area. But like the reason why I made the Wegmans analogy is because Wegmans, you walk in, you could just walk over to the coffee shop, get a coffee, throw it in your cart, and then like walk over to some food station and eat some food if you wanted to. Grab a piece of food, eat it real quick, and then randomly strew around the area and buy whatever you want and be surrounded by staff that are happy. and want to be there. And that's kind of the point I'm trying to make is the same thing at Sabatini's. Like, you can go to the bar and you can grab a 10-ounce, 4-ounce, 16-ounce beer, and then you go, you know what? I want to buy some beer. You can go over and grab a shopping cart, and they have beer holders in the shopping carts. You put your beer holder in the shopping cart, and then you walk around the thing drinking your beer while shopping for beer. I mean, what else do you want? They didn't pay me for this. Like, this is not like I'm not.
I
like,
know. I feel this went from talking about brew pubs to talking about brew pubs and beer bars to talking about Sabatini's.
Yeah, and it's not like I'm not talking about this because like I owe him a favor or I think he's a great guy, but it's not like I'm not doing it because I'm getting something. Like, I don't, he's given me beers in the past. It's not like it's like I'm doing it for free beer. I just think it's that good of a place, and that's why I'm saying the things I'm saying. There's no ulterior motive to it.
Yeah. All right.
So, yeah, that's my list.
Yeah. You want to get into
reviews?
Review?
Yeah, let's do this.
All right, cool.
So you have a bottle, I have a can. That's my bottle. Do you have a date on yours?
Let me see.
Mine is January, February, March, April 28th. So it's a month and a half old, my beer.
I have packaged 11 something. I don't know. It's weird.
Oh,
I would assume it's fairly fresh, but it's like the code is all funky.
Oh, that funky code will get you.
Yeah. Have you ever had this before?
Yeah.
Okay. Well, I have never had this.
Yeah, I mean that's murky. That's the murk. You probably can't see it on the camera because it probably won't even focus on it, but it's like super murky. A ton of sediment. It almost looks like pepper. Almost looks like pepper inside of it.
See, mine is now like, mine's real clear, like way clearer than yours.
Did you dump the whole can though? That's the thing. I think
I don't think I have enough room in my.
And that's what I'm saying. I cleared my whole bottle, so I'm probably getting the bottom, the dregs.
Yeah.
Where you didn't get it. You know what I mean?
Okay, I got a little bit of it now because I just swirled
it. Yeah.
Swirled the can. Yeah, it clouding up real nice.
Yeah, so I mean, it's like a nice golden hue color. Like it almost looks like a peppery sediment in there, when it actually looks like there's pieces of pepper in it. Super golden. Nice little head on it. Nothing too crazy.
Yeah, our head, like the heads on both of ours are basically about the same at this point.
Yeah, pretty much.
Ooh.
Very peppery nose too, I think.
Yeah. A little bit of clove, but I'm still getting that,
coriander maybe.
Yeah, like a coriander. I'm still getting a little bit of banana as well.
Yeah. Spicy, baby.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of went away because I don't have a whole lot of that sediment, and that's where a lot of that is going to be coming from, I'd say.
Let's dive right in. I'm going to drink this. Cheers.
Cheers.
See, for me, this is like a atypical like crusher beer. This is not something I'm going to get a ton of flavor because there's flavor there. It's bright, but at the same time it has a really nice mouthfeel. That spiciness is definitely there, like a peppery, like coriander, something like that going on. It has a very nice mouthfeel, like a super wheat-based mouthfeel. Mm-hmm. But there's not a ton of flavor going on.
No,
it's missing like some citrus or something.
Yeah, I think there should be a little bit more of like a citrus fruit.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not really picking up the spicy hop character that it says on my can. Yeah, but
it's definitely something I can like drink like 7 of at like a golf course or a backyard or a barbecue or something.
Yeah, really. I mean, this is really good for I can see now why like people go kind of crazy for this when it comes out.
It's very American. It's not German. It's not Belgian. It's very American.
That little bit of like banana that's there is just wheat beer, kind of.
Yeah. Rating wise, I'd probably give it an 85. Like, it doesn't blow me away, but it's not nearly even close to being like crappy. It's just like a nice crushable beer, you know.
I'd probably go around an A- for mine. Really good. I think it could have a bit more of a citrus.
And Joe's down. He'll be back in a second. It's like the crappiest internet in the face
At the same
of the planet.
time, not like overtly spicy, like it says on the can.
I gotcha.
Yeah, this is a really, really good beer.
Yeah, I dig it. Like, it's a beer that I got for my barbecue. No one really drank a ton of it. Not because they didn't want it, just because, you know, the heavy hitters came out hard and fast. But yeah. I'm a fan. Like, it's not too shabby. It's probably one of the more, I don't want to say better beers that I've had from Bell's, because I've had some, you know, like Batch 9000, Black Note were better for me, but it's one of the more easy drinking beers I've had from Bell's.
I was actually gonna say this is probably one of the better things that I've had from them. Like Batch 9000 is on like its own.
Yeah. Stratosphere.
Exactly. But like this and, you know, a Two Hearted, those are
yeah, I'd probably put Two Hearted in front of this one, but we're gonna review that one soon enough, so we'll see.
Yeah, like for my first time having it, I'm pretty surprised by it. I really like it. You know, for not being a huge, like, I like wheat beers, but they're something that just doesn't really do a lot for me.
It's a very polarizing beer. Like my brother, this is actually one from, I got a mix of 6 from Wegmans by me, and I specifically picked this beer up and a bunch of other wheat-based beers like Blanche de Chamblay, and I picked up Nimwit from Nibble Hill, and they picked up a bunch of like wheat stuff for my brother because he was stationed in Germany for like however long, and that's where he got into beer. So he's like a wheat beer like junkie, you know. And I picked up 2 of these because I was like, oh, he's gonna love these. Hated it. Loved the Blanche de Chambly and like loved the other ones I got, but he's like, yeah, he like not. Like, he cracked one, drank like a 1/10 of it, and then just put the bottle down and cracked another beer. Like that. Like, it wasn't like he drank it. It's like, I didn't like it. He's like, no. He's like, I don't like this. So it's like,
absolutely not.
Yeah, it's a really polarizing beer. That's why I say it's really American. I don't think the purist, the German wit purist, would be into this.
No, like a German Hefeweizen person or even a Belgian wit fan would not.
Yeah,
I don't think they'd go for it. But at the same time, it's also not as hop forward as you would really think of for like an American wheat beer, because that's kind of what we do.
Yeah,
like we
throw hops in that shit, baby.
Yeah, we toss boatloads of hops at things that have no business having boatloads of hops.
Yeah, so there you go. Oberon. I gave it 85. You gave it what?
Like
85, 86. You gave it an E-. So
yeah,
there you go. Cheers.
Cool.
So what else are we gonna cover next?
So next up, and now this is more. I'm gearing this one more toward like a brew pub. You know, you are brewing your own beer. Now, other forms of alcohol. Serving other forms of alcohol at specifically a brew pub. We could then branch off of that and talk about bars as well. But I would like to at least hit brew pubs first, and that is, you know, serving wine or spirits, you know, whatever. Should they not be on the menu? Do you want me to go first, or do you want to go first yourself?
I'll go first. A brew pub, like straight up legit brew pub, should that shit be on the menu? Yes. Should it be on the menu to excess? I don't think so. I think, you know, I love what I love. I make this joke all the time, and it's true. It's true for everybody. And this is the joke I make. it's crazy that everything I like is awesome and everything I don't like is dumb as shit. So it's like one of those things where it's like if you go to a bar and you want good beer and it's a good beer bar, that's fine. But if you want to hang out with people and beer and drinking inherently is a social thing. I have zero qualms drinking by myself. I have no problem doing reviews by myself. I have no problems with that. I like a solitary drink from you know what I mean. That doesn't bother me, but at the same time it is inherently a group thing to where you do with a bunch of people and not everybody's going to like the same thing. So to go into a brew pub and like for perfect example like Breaker, they have they have artisanal, whatever you want to call it, sodas. You know what I mean? So there's at least something there.
I'm not talking about sodas.
I know you're not talking about sodas, but what I'm saying is they have the reason why they have the sodas is because if somebody doesn't want to drink or can't drink beer, there's something else for the other person there. So you're talking about having at least an option or two for somebody who does not like beer. Now, in a perfect world, what the best thing I've seen it, or the best way I've seen it presented, would be Fegley's or Bethlehem Brewworks, where what they do is they have their brew pub and food upstairs, and then they have this like all their beers and whatever you want to drink upstairs in the brew pub. If you go downstairs, you go into a separate section, they have bottles and booze in like a totally separate section of the bar area. It's like it's almost like you're going down two flights of stairs and then going into a separate bar area. So it's like, and you can go from downstairs to upstairs and upstairs to downstairs. So it's like two separate entities that kind of deliver both aspects, because, you know, I know some people that just drink liquor and like mixed drinks, and I want to go out with those people. Well, if the bar, all they serve is just beer. But that's my feeling. What do you think?
Okay. In a brew pub where you are making your own beer on premises, I am wholeheartedly against having other forms of alcohol on your menu. To me, it says I have no faith that my product can stand alone in my own establishment. And I'm not a wine drinker. I'm not really that big of a liquor, like spirit drinker. You know, I like beer when I go into a brew pub. It's not that I'm like offended by other things being on there. I personally would not do it in my place, but at the same time, I still have this kind of like in the back of my mind, like whether or not your beers are good, to me, it's, well, why can't they stand alone? Why do you need to have some wines here? Like, I understand not everybody drinks beer, but I don't drink wine. I don't go into a winery and say, why don't you have beer?
Well, let me ask you this. I mean, you're talking about like you shouldn't have liquor in there because if your beer can't stand up to it, it shouldn't you shouldn't be doing what you're doing. But at the same time, you say you like fucking Pizza Boy Al's Hamden, but they have Pizza Boy beer and 1,000 other different kinds of beer. How is that different?
But it's because because at the same time, they just have beer on the menu. Whether I want some of their stuff, whether I want somebody else's stuff, it's still beer. So, granted, they're still a restaurant.
But where do you draw the line? Where do you draw the line? Ciders? Do you draw the line at beans? Yeah. Where do you draw the line?
What I'm really saying is if you are primarily having your own beers on tap, I don't see the point of having pretty much anything else.
No, but that's the thing. Like, I have zero issue with, like, again, Breaker.
This is just
a skew, and I know it's just you. Yeah. But they like Breaker does all their own beers, and then they have the soda. Mm. Like, keep the soda out of it. But at the same time, like, but at the same time, like Al's Hamden has their beer and a bunch of other beers. To me, that's cool. Like, so what? Like, I would be like, hey, maybe there's some like weird startup artisanal freaking winery or distillery down the street that they're like the same dudes just sweat of their brow, fucking blood from their knuckles, banging out this crazy weird wine or bourbon. Why does it matter? It's alcohol. It's again, it's beer and spirits are different. Alcohol.
See, I'm just like in my own place, I wouldn't do it, and that's like where I'm coming from. I would not. I don't care if you're gonna do it. I'm not gonna order it. But when the day comes that I'm opening up a place, it's going to be beer. It's going to be my own beer.
When I open up a place, it's going to have good beer and good scotch, and that's it.
Yeah.
So there's going to be scotch involved. So, hey. But I don't like that getting shitty, and liquor has a tendency for people to get shitty. So, like, and that's kind of where I think, like, the subject can kind of, like, not
I
differ.
I first like kind of picked this up. I went to like Turkey Hill Brewpub or somewhere, like brewery. They're in Bloomsburg, and like they had like a cocktail menu. I'm like, well, this is the brewpub. Why is there a fucking cocktail menu? Like why should that be here when you are visibly seeing like where they're making shit and like all of their stuff is on tap, and that like their beer is on tap. And then it's like, oh yeah, we have all these cocktails too. It's like, well fucking why?
See, and that's kind of where I get a little bit weird. Like, did they make the glassware there? Did they make the countertops? Did they make the food? Did they kill the cow to cut the beef to make the hamburger that you eat? Like it's
now
either. No, it's not, because either it all comes in the house or it doesn't. But this is kind of where I would go. And again, I'm guilty of the same thing you are, but just to a lesser extent. If I open a bar or a brew pub, I would like to have liquor there. I would like to have wine there, but I would want it to be like, like something that somebody I know, like at the same, like I wouldn't want mass marketed. I don't want Glenlivet. I don't want, right? You know what I mean? I want something that somebody like little guys making, and I'm like, okay, that dude's doing the same thing as me. He's living the same life as me. He's trying to make a name for himself doing and be like, okay, you want to come down here for an awesome freaking imperial stout that I handcrafted? We'll try this handcrafted bourbon, or try this handcrafted wine from the dude up the street who just makes the wine and sells it at his front door, and that's how he makes a living. Like, that's what I would do. I wouldn't be like, okay, I have a gallon of freaking, Asti Swabanti and like 16 gallons of Rock and Ride. You know what I mean? It would be like it would be more like, okay, everybody shake everybody's hand and pat each other on the back in a way that's positive, because you're both bringing good stuff to good people. And that's just me, though.
No, I see where you're coming, but this isn't going to be a form of like the other week where my opinion now suddenly changes because of what you're.
Oh no, I don't care if your opinion changes.
Yeah, and that's just me. I'm like, I feel like if you're, and now you could obviously bring in the Isles of Hampton thing. I feel like if you're confident enough to have only your stuff available, then you should have it. I think it should be able to stand alone.
That's fair enough. I get it. You know what I mean? I get where you're coming from. My philosophy is a little different. That's all it is. It's neither better nor worse, nor righter nor wronger. You know what I mean? It's just opinion.
Yeah.
So what else? What else you got for me?
Not too much on.
Did we literally just finish a show without having to leave?
Yeah.
Because of time nor whatever.
Yeah, that's basically it. I mean, we kind of went back and forth on that second topic.
How long have we been going?
About an hour, I think. So started about 5:30. It's 6:35 right now.
Really? Mm-hmm. See, they're getting faster and faster. I felt like it was longer.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, we actually have subjects and we talk about them in a concise manner.
I know. Right?
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else I could bring to the whole brew pub, a beer experience subject. All right,
let's now go into craft beer bar. It's a bar. There you go. It's gonna have other things. Yeah.
Yeah. There's nothing we could go with there. Yeah.
Yeah. That's the opinion right there.
Let me think. I'm trying to think if there's any kind of hypothetical I could present. I don't think there is.
Yeah.
I don't know. So yeah, are we done?
Cool. I think we're done.
There you go. What do you have any topics in mind for next week, or is that something you just kind of gonna think of?
I have a list of topics that I've been just writing things down in. Also put up on my Facebook, like to get crowdsourced suggestions, and that went fucking nowhere because apparently, Ryan, I'm looking at you. It's okay to just like something and then not contribute to the question.
He's on vacation right now, so he gets a pass.
I did this like 2 or 3 weeks ago.
Oh, okay. Well, then fuck him. No, we'll come up with some good stuff, but
yeah, I have a list of things. I mean, I could delete the brew pubs here.
Nice.
Because we just did those.
So yeah, we covered. Anybody's tuning in right now, we covered brew pub stuff. We covered beer bar stuff, what we like, what we don't like, places we do like, places we don't like. We covered our ideas on what should or shouldn't belong in a brew pub, and we reviewed Bell's Oberon. So yeah, another fun show, man. I mean, this doesn't suck. This doesn't suck.
This is I like this. This is
it's not too shabby.
Good.
So yeah,
now our beers are pretty much lined up.
Yeah, we got
We're pretty even
for at least a month. At least and then you'll be back in 2 weeks, and then we'll line up even more shit while you're here. Just to
absolutely,
it'll be way easier to do
that
it.
To you.
Yeah. So we'll do that when you're in, and another good show. So hopefully you guys enjoyed the show. If you did or you didn't, or somewhere in between, please leave a comment and all that fun stuff. Subscribe, tell people about us. As far as where you can find us. Where can they find you, Joe, or should I say we?
You can find us. Eventually, Amanda will be on this show. She had to work today, and you were doing the Beer Geeks thing, or we would have done this earlier.
Such is life.
Such is life. You can find myself and Amanda at nepabeerreviews.squarespace.com. You can find myself at nepabeerreviews on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. And Untapped at NEPA Beers.
Nice. And you can find me, Matt, at Massive Beers at Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, Untapped. All those fun places and probably some other places I don't want you to know about. And yeah, another showdown, baby. So good one. So keep tuned in. Check us out on Instagram and Facebook and all that fun stuff, and see when the next show is coming up. If anybody out there is into the stuff we talk about and want to suggest topics or want to join into a panel discussion, either hit us up, either me and Joe at his NEPA Beer Reviews on Facebook, my Massive Beers on Facebook, or email us at lovebeerradio@gmail.com. And if Joe didn't break glass right now,
it just falls off my
nothing.
My iPad just slipped off of the board games that I use as my stand.
And I will definitely send out a picture of Joe's setup, which is ghetto as fuck. And so
it's already up. It's up on my Instagram.
Oh, nice.
Just scroll back on my Instagram for a little while, you'll find it.
So hopefully, guys, enjoyed the show. Hopefully, you tune in next week, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, baby.
Cheers.